Palworld was an instant hit when it released on January 19th. One of its key mechanics are the various types of eggs you can find around the whole world and then hatch to get pals that might be hard to get at that stage of the game, especially if you're still on a lower level. I've gathered as much information over the past days as I can find. I will go into the basics of eggs, how to get the incubator, where to look for eggs, and some general tips you might find useful to get the most out of them. To understand how eggs work, we have to take a look at the 9 different types of eggs you can receive. Each type of egg also has different sizes. Most of them will have a regular, large and huge version, with each of them hatching a different set of pals. Each egg corresponds to a different element, so you will always get a pal that has their main type set to this. Common eggs always hatch normal type, damp is water, dark, dragon and electric kinda explain themselves, frozen is ice, rocky is ground, scorching is fire, and verdant is grass. Here's the first point. If we take scorching eggs as an example, not all of them will have the possibility to hatch the whole set. The location you pick them up from also depends, so you won't be able to hatch fire pals that exclusively exist in one area by hatching a scorching egg from another area where this pal doesn't exist. This also means that when you get an egg from a region, you will almost guaranteed to get something of value that might be hard to catch depending on your current level. Once collected, eggs can be hatched using an incubator. Incubator is unlocked via the tech tree, Ancient Technology level 7. You will need one Ancient Technology point, which you'll get through defeating various alpha pals or the tower for the first time, but then you will also need Ancient Civilization parts, which you can also get by defeating or catching any of the alpha pals or beating the tower, simply. Incubators have to be placed within a base radius and are immediately usable. Different types of eggs may have different preferences on temperature though, which will make them hatch faster or slower, as you can see here, as my scorching egg has a speed of plus 50%. You can influence this by the biome you have your base in and by building and operating the heater and cooler. So personally, I prefer to just have a lot of incubators and do other tasks in the meantime. So where should you look for eggs then? Generally, most of the eggs are on cliffs, cliffsides or mountains. You might find a few of them early on, but will notice that many of them are high up on locations that are hard to reach. I suggest really going after them once you have a flying mount. Before that, it could be a bit tricky to navigate to. So if we take a look at the map, the volcanic region had mostly scorching eggs when I got there. But even there, it depends kind of where you get them, because if there's a pal that only lives in this area, for example, in the north, and you get a scorching egg here, it will most likely not hatch that pal from up there. It will hatch the specific ones that live here. Then the mountainous area in the north, I found mostly frozen eggs, although I have to admit even this area has frozen eggs, and I did find some dragon eggs here as well. But they're very rare, so I didn't find too many. The desert had electric, damp, and rocky eggs as the main source. So they were kind of split, but I did find a few other ones here and there. Like you can also find sometimes a scorching or frozen egg here, depending on which region specifically you're in. And then the main region, like all the starter islands, like the central regions, I found mostly the common eggs, the damp eggs, and the verdant eggs. But you can also find rocky, electric, like almost all the others as well, just in a lower quantity. As I'm recording this video, a lot of data is still a bit difficult to get. Maybe not everything is completely confirmed. So I also need your help. Like the data I found, and well, that most of the data came from just playing. For example, I never found a normal or a large dragon egg. I only found a huge dragon egg. So please let me know if you found one, and maybe also where you found it. There's a few more things I want to note here. For example, if you found a spot with a huge egg, I went there later on and there was a large egg. So they do change, and I also think they changed the type a lot. So even though you might have found in the start area like a common egg, there could be a verdant egg the next time. So I think it just mixed a little bit still. As of what's coming out of the eggs, that's also kinda, well, it's a bit tricky still. I'm still making a list. I can also publish the list if you want to. As of right now, I have a lot of data, and I believe there's going to be a couple more as well. Like also because mostly I collect a lot of eggs from certain regions, like higher level regions. But what I can really say is that if you can get to a high end area early on, and you find some eggs, like you're definitely unable to catch any of the pals there. But if you can get an egg from there and hatch it, you might find yourself having a really, really strong pal helping you, like a dragon with kindling level 4, for example. Like I got one. But yeah, that will depend a little bit on luck, and of course, making your way up to that area is going to be tricky. But it is possible, and there would be no way you would be able to catch that one before reaching like at least level 30. So yeah, that can be quite interesting. And also, if you hatch an egg, then you will also get the bonus XP if it's one of the first 10 of its kind. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this. If you found this useful, I will try to get even more info in a future video. If there's a lot more info to get, if there's other topics that needs to be more thoroughly explained. I just found eggs kind of interesting in Palworld, because there's essentially up to 27 different ones, and I just find that interesting. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe if you really liked the video and you think it helped you. It goes a long way. Thank you very much.